Thank you very much. And once again, well, this should be good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think I quite agree on a lot of terms with the previous speaker, my Oga, a neighbor in Kuje as well, because the TD for Pi Hub is actually located in Kuje, and he was the chairman of my session over there yesterday, so it was a wonderful coincidence meeting him. Well, just to clarify a couple of points, first and foremost, I work for NIDA. I'm a director in NIDA. My last position was Director of Zonal Offices Coordination. So my office basically was carrying out what they call the last mile, penetrate the last mile driving of ICT to the grassroots, basically. So we are the foot soldiers, the lieutenants. But the issue of a patent is, with all humility, I would like to disagree a bit. NIDA, we don't do patenting in NIDA, National Information Technology Development Agency. We carry out promotion and dissemination of IT as a whole for Nigeria. That is one. We have a special office that is created for that under the Ministry of Science and Technology, which is called NOTAP, National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion. That is the name. Everything to do with patenting, IP, goes through NOTAP. Definitely, it is really a terrible process because it could take 5 years before whatever comes out. It's a risky situation. As a matter of fact, the TD for Pi developed what we call the Niger Reader. I think I showed it in my demo. The Niger Reader had to bypass NOTAP and went straight to Ministry of Trade and Industries. And it took close to maybe 3 months even to get a paper showing that you have applied, not yet so it's really a bad situation that needs to be critically looked into. That is one. Well, we're talking of upstream, downstream. I will try to make this session as interactive as possible. How many of us use the Windows 98 here? Out of 95? Beautiful. Of course, we have Windows 10 even now. Am I right? The most common now is almost Windows 8 with the touch environment. Am I right? Now, my question goes that the same machine that ran Windows 98, can somebody run Windows 7 on it? Will it work? The question is why? Any idea here, please? Beautiful. I love that. Thank you very much. I had the word hardware. I'm here because of Upstream ICT, which basically involves what we call the hardware and the firmware. And it is actually the hardware, as it has mentioned, that controls the downstream, which is the firmware, your software. Basically, I'm able to run Windows 7 today because of maybe IV3 processor, IV5, or IV7. These are Intel processors. But to break it down to a layman's language, there's what we call process technology. We have what they call the 19 nanometer process technology. Today, we're talking about 22 nanometer. Now, there's a trend to 14 nanometer. Let me explain what it means. Nanometer is actually a size, a dimension. It's what they call the gate height. What are gates? Gates are made up of transistors. You can have your NOR gate, AND gate, and what have you. So the more I'm able to compress, shrink the size of my gates, that means that the more transistors I can pack within the same space. So if I have 3 by 3 millimeter, for example, by 3 millimeter, today I have like 100,000 transistors. But if I'm of 19 nanometer gate height, if I'm able to compress it now to maybe 22, and I can make it maybe tomorrow to maybe 1 billion. What does that translate to? Higher performance. Because you have a bigger engine now. Am I right? That means that you can launch more software now. So invariably, if there are no improvements in upstream, which is the hardware, basically, there can be no improvements in the downstream. You cannot put the engine of a Mini in a Rolls Royce. It doesn't make sense, absolutely. Am I right? Beautiful. Now, in Nigeria here, while I have to point out this issue of upstream, I was going through the exhibition stand here. All I saw were solution providers in the in the downstream of ICT. I was in Demo Africa. All I see is downstream solution provider. Everybody is doing software. Everybody is doing CCNA networking. Everybody is doing cyber security, which is, of course, is very important of late. Everybody is doing application development, PC, web-based. For goodness sake, one gets tired. Now, I don't have my slide, no? Is my slide there, please? I would like us to have a look at definition of ICT. Okay, because when we define ICT, most people, I don't think we captured all the full definition of ICT. I think that is where the problem started, where people tend to forget or ignore or just don't know that certain aspect of upstream is a critical component of ICT as a whole. Because if you look at ICT, it's everything that's data, it involves data exchange, data processing, data transmission. Any device that does this is an ICT product. Your router is an upstream product because it's a hardware. Your switch is an ICT product, it's a hardware. Who has heard of SBC here? Single board computers like Raspberry Pi, Banana Pro, for example, and so on and so forth. These belong to upstream ICT. But today in Nigeria, you go to most exhibitions, you don't get to see anybody showing you something like, a product of in that very class. Okay? And it is an area that has a lot of potentials. It's an area that will give us, we create a lot of techie youth if awareness is created. That is basically, okay, thank you. That is basically what TD for Pi is doing, the primary focus. And just have another look at our ICT definition. Please, let me know how much time I have, please. Let me have an idea, please, okay? Information technology encompasses all technology that facilitates automatic acquisition, storage, processing, manipulation, management, movement, control, display, switching, interchange, transmission, or reception of data or information. That's it. So your router is an ICT product. Now the question is, how come in Nigeria here the upstream ICT is basically non-existent or little awareness is created there? Because we don't have the technical expertise, because it's a highly, highly dynamic industry that controls other industries basically. Now, we have boards, for example, Raspberry Pi board. A Raspberry Pi board or Banana Pro board is actually a fully fledged computing system that costs less than $35. Can you believe that? Less than $35. Let me get a bit technical. You have 1 gigahertz frequency. Then you have 1 gig RAM. And because it's a dual core processor, it becomes 1 gig times 2 basically. So you have like 2 gigahertz effective frequency. Then 1 gig RAM. Guess what? It has a HDMI output. It has sound output. It has even Wi-Fi output. It has a SATA connection of which you can plug in up to 3 terabyte HDD. All this for just $35. And guess what? It has what they call the I/O ports, input-output ports, which you can control external devices. And this is where the word IoT starts, Internet of Things. Because it's embedded technology that's going to drive Internet of Things, which we call keep shouting, talking, everything. It's actually the upstream that we control the Internet of Things. Because the Internet of Things has to act autonomously to prevent latency and to prevent huge data exchange. I'll give you an example. If I should have a data acquisition device that is IoT based, let me give an example. Maybe monitoring of water level in a bridge in a remote area. It's an IoT, so it can push data to the internet. It cannot be sending data each time of the height of water to me, because there's a lot of data exchange going on, and then there could be latency. I have to program an algorithm where it can have autonomous decision taking and only report to me that this water has reached this level, do something. Are you getting it? And it's only embedded technology when you program an upstream device like a microcontroller, FPGA, SP, CPLD, and so on and so forth, can that be really achieved. Now, what's the way forward? In a TD4Pi, supported by National Information Technology Development Agency, we train people in that very area. We basically train you in microcontroller programming in various platforms, starting from assembly language up to C language. And as a matter of fact, most hackers are people that they program what they call close to the bare metal. They use the word bare metal. When you can talk to the bare metal, that means they can bypass the OS and play whatever you want to play. So with someone that is expert in upstream ICT can easily turn to a hacker because he understands the architecture of the microcontroller or microprocessor. He understands it very well. So he can play with it, intercept your data, and do whatever he wants with. So that is the more reason why here we have to create more capacity. I was having a strategic meeting. I wouldn't want to go into words about cyber security. So I keep telling them, why come Nigeria is always talking about cyber security? Why do you have to be protective? We should also create our cyber army, for goodness sake. No, you don't only protect, you should be able to use it to attack. When there was an election, INEC website was basically brought down, I heard. When the Senate passed the law on, is it homosexuality or same-sex marriage or so? I think the Nigerian government website was brought down, for goodness sake. We should be able to retaliate in certain cases. We should be able to, certain sites that don't really promote the Nigerian culture, we should be able to bring it down as well. So we don't have to only build capacity on how to protect yourself. You should also know how to attack. And this is where Upstream also comes in. And these are technologies that most people will not teach you openly. Nobody will come and teach you some of those things because it's like a complete military force already called the cyber force. So the conventional warfare now is changing completely. Not when you face me with gun, I face you. I could attack your vital infrastructure, basically. Just as Oga mentioned right now about the banking system, I could bring down the whole banking system, or maybe bring down the whole electricity system, your whole maybe water supply system, or God forbid, back to your nuclear plant, I can bring it down. Like what Israel did to Iran when they, I've got the name of the virus they sent to their silos. That was the centrifuge was spinning out of proportion. They lost so many things. Now, to try to wrap, what time do I have, please? So, okay, these are some of the boards I mentioned. Banana Pro board is here. As a matter of fact, please, we'll have a stand over there, just behind TD for Pi. All this, you can demonstrate the power of these boards and other things. Please, can you go to our products, some of the products there? Go, keep going, please. Keep going. There's no time. Keep going. Keep going down. Keep going down, please. Keep going down. Well, these are some of the course titles we offer over there. Please go down to the product page, please. Please, can you be faster? Okay, stop. Well, these are some of the products of the Upstream ICT. We're talking about RFID Niger Reader, which was designed as well based on Intel Micro Controller 8051 architecture. I think most of us have heard that before. We have a 4-port USB hub, RFID Niger Reader, 4-port, okay, this is just a duplication. No, just some of the things that we designed here, okay? And let me give another example for those of us that are downstream. Imagine a situation where you're developing like an access control system. This access control system needs to run on a PC. The cost of an average laptop today could be 70,000. That means that you buy a Niger Reader card, biometric RFID, you buy a laptop, write the application, package it, sell to a customer. 70,000, but I could do the same thing using open source. For example, Linux, Android. I'll just go smoothly for my Banana Pro board or Raspberry Pi for less than $35. Write the same application there, package it. Guess what? I'm not paying for the operating system. It's free. Package it and sell. Now I have a program called one laptop per child, maybe sub $99 laptop. How do you want to achieve that? It's through open source. And this is where the Upstream also comes in, using SBC. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Agwu Collins, for that one. TD4PA. Okay, well, for poverty alleviation, yes. Yes. Well, some of the things sounded kind of strange to me, but it also sounded interesting to me. If you look at my size, you know I like food. So when I hear banana board and apple for pa and all those things, I say, oh, this must be very interesting. And well, one of the things I like about him too, if you were here for the demo, the only thing he didn't do was to put all his products on all the tables and say, now there you go. A typical Igbo man. Please put your hands together for him again.
Ada, also, Ada, Doctor is from Kuje. He's also from Kuje. There's something about
Kuje, ba? Okay.
Please, don't also tell me you're from Kuje. I'll go and buy land there now.
We will look into that.
We'll look into it.
Yes. Okay, let's take just one question from the floor for him before we go into the next talk. Anyone? Just one question? Okay, the good thing is that even if you don't ask your questions here, they are always one phone call away. Meet any of us, OJ, myself, Mr. Wuru, Barista, Emeka, any of them, any of us, and we'll connect you.
Just phone number, no hardware, nothing.
No, just. Okay, the next speaker will be Mr. Rex Abito.